When we mention Porsche, we might just think about it as purely an automobile manufacturer. It is more not only the features that we add or the design that we have, it is the entire journey satisfaction that we offer to our customers. Greetings to our honorable judges. We are the University of Hong Kong team. I'm Bonita, and today I'm joined by Artman, Emily, and James. We have identified that the dealership model is the root cause of Porsche's major problem, which can be categorized into two pain points of Porsche: a disconnection from its customers and the miscommunication between Porsche and its dealers. So here comes the problem statement of the day. How can Porsche modify its dealership model to create a more satisfactory customer experience? We strategically propose our strategy, winning the hearts and hearts of our customers. This strategy could be broken down into two stages. The first stage is the launch of Porsche Toll, a transparent online customer service platform accessible to all Porsche dealers and customers. And the second stage is the launch of Porsche Toll Plus, aligning and training dealers to fill the expectation gaps with monetary incentives. This strategy brings impact to various stakeholders. For customers, we anticipate a 30% increase in Net Promoter Score. For Porsche, we expect a 20% increase in revenue. And finally, for dealers, we expect a 5-rank increase in dealer satisfaction in China. So let's first understand whether Porsche is consumer-centric or not. Porsche is ranked number 1 in China's automotive performance execution and layout survey for almost 2 decades now. This ranking is based on performance quality of automobile, and it shows that Porsche offers high-quality products with customer-centric functions that improve customers' overall driving experience. Moreover, since different customers have different needs regarding car design, additional features, and gadgets, Porsche allows personalized order specifications to cater individual needs of customers. So we can conclude that the automobiles Porsche offer to its customers are indeed customer-centric. But does this necessarily mean customers would be satisfied with their overall purchase experience when they purchase from Porsche? Porsche's customer centricity actually ends at their products. Porsche expect that it has the most satisfied customers because they merely look at satisfaction based on the functions provided by the automobile. But they have neglected another important factor essential to shaping customers' satisfaction. Dealers actually play a crucial role in creating an impressive customer purchase experience, since they are the ones in direct contact with customers. When dealers are unable to provide customer-centric services that meet customers' expectation, Porsche's customer-centric ideology therefore cannot be entirely translated to its customers. So let's dive deeper into Paul's case of problematic customer journey to understand how dealers cannot create customer satisfaction for Porsche's car. Firstly, the model that Paul decided was unavailable for test drive. Then he failed to add specifications and amend his orders. Next, he faced a poor service attitude by David, the sales executive. After discovering the wrong order was made, he received poor after-sales recovery and compensation. Finally, he was notified that Porsche can no longer be able to change his current order at this stage. As a result, Paul had an extremely dissatisfactory customer experience with purchasing Porsche, feeling frustrated, disappointed, and exhausted. These problems may not be an individual case, but might be a reflection of an underlying systematic problem faced by a much larger amount of customers. So we have identified that the root cause of these problems is the problematic dealership model of Porsche. This would lead to two pain points of Porsche. Firstly, a disconnection from its customers, where Porsche has insufficient touch points with customers throughout the purchase journey experience, leading to a lack of involvement and control over the customer experience. When there are mistakes by the dealers, Porsche has no knowledge about it and cannot make any decisions on the resolution. Another problem arising is a miscommunication between Porsche and its dealers, where dealers do not have the most updated information regarding any supply chain disruptions or delay, which would lead to unmet promises made by dealers. Therefore, we believe changing the dealership model of Porsche could be able to solve these two problems. So why should Porsche address these problems properly? In the short run, when there is a lower customer satisfaction, the brand reputation of Porsche would be negatively impacted. As a result, there will be a decline in both one-off and repeated sales, and hence a decline in revenue and profits. While in the long term, since the dealership model is a deep-rooted systematic problem, if it has not been solved, there would be repeated occurrence which would threaten the sustainability of Porsche. There's a need for Porsche to address these problems properly through changing its dealership model. Therefore, the problem statement of today is: how can Porsche modify its dealership model to create a more satisfactory customer experience? So let's have Armin to talk about it.
Thanks, Bonita. To address the problem of disconnection between Porsche and its customers, our team will launch Porsche Toll, a transparent online customer service platform accessible to Porsche dealers and customers. We believe that the online platform could integrate with the current physical customer journey to create a perfect omni-channel strategy that caters to different customers' needs. Secondly, to address the problem of miscommunication between Porsche and its dealers, Porsche Toll Plus will be launched, where Porsche will align and train dealers to fill the expectation gap with monetary incentives. To solve these problems faced by Porsche, our team has considered a few strategies, namely adopting an omni-channel customer service, a fully online customer service, changing dealers, and finally disintermediation. To assess the effectiveness of these strategies, they are ranked in terms of cost effectiveness, feasibility, flexibility, and sustainability, where the omni-channel strategy has come out on top. While the other solutions may be possible as well, they each have obvious flaws that are hard to overcome. For instance, we believe that a full online customer service is strongly hindered by its lack of flexibility, since it is hard for customers that are not tech savvy and prefer physical interaction to use it. On the other hand, changing dealers does not necessarily address the root cause of the problem, since the same human errors may still appear in the new dealership. Finally, while this intermediation has its own benefits, the huge monetary cost it takes for Porsche to manage the distribution in China and its lack of customer expertise in the region has made it too costly and unfeasible. Therefore, we believe that the omni-channel customer service strategy is the most efficient in addressing all of these concerns, and we will further explain its benefits in the next slides. Introducing Porsche Toll, our transparent omni-channel customer service platform that addresses all of Paul's needs. Firstly, with our new function of online delivery checking, Paul can now conduct a 24-hour monitoring of his product, instead of relying on David to provide answers which may be unreliable. Paul can also change his order specifications online, where Porsche Toll will immediately record his answers to prevent any human errors. Finally, Paul's feedback will be collected entirely online. This does not only increase the speed of the feedback loop, but it also prevents any influence by the salesperson in the customer feedback collection session. You might wonder, what happens if our customers is not too tech savvy or prefers having a salesperson physically introduce the product to him? According to a research by McKinsey, although 60% of customers prefer buying cars online, they are mainly under 40 years old, and there is still a significant proportion of customers that enjoy physically shopping for cars in showrooms. This is exactly why we decided to adopt an omni-channel strategy to cater to these customers' needs. Meet Wang. He's 62 years old and does not know how to use the internet at all. To reap benefits of our omni-channel strategy, Wang can still go to showrooms physically and interact with dealers in person. However, this time the dealer is required to log the interaction on Porsche Toll, where Porsche could monitor and process the information through the platform. Since Porsche Toll is a transparent platform that can be accessed by customers, Porsche, and the dealer, it provides more security and pulls Porsche closer to its end customers, even if they prefer physical interaction.
Thank you, Armin. Porsche Toll can let Paul track his taken delivery schedule. As you can see, when Paul downloads the app on his mobile phone, he can scrutinize every single step in his purchase journey and delivery schedule. This can put his mind at ease. If there are any updates about the delivery, like any missing parts, he will be notified immediately. This eliminates any delay in information transmission, as any updates will be displayed on the portal. Apart from being transparent, Porsche Toll also allowed different amendments of order. Paul can amend his order specifications immediately at anywhere and anytime before the deadline. With just a few clicks of buttons, he can add adaptive air suspension and rear axle steering. To prevent exploitation, the number of amendments will be limited, and no changes can be made after the deadline. Therefore, by checking and amending his order personally, Paul can directly send his specifications requirement to Porsche accurately and efficiently. Porsche Toll has the potential to revolutionize the customer journey and become the trailblazer in the automotive industry. Now, let's dive into Paul's new journey with Porsche. When he first makes specifications, he will no longer encounter errors in transmitting his order, as his order can be directly sent to Porsche. After making his order, he can immediately review his purchase received anytime and anywhere to double-check his specifications. Instead of an intermediary sending incomplete screen capture of delivery schedule and information, Paul can be reassured that his purchase is accurate. When it comes to signing a contract, instead of only realizing the specification mistake upon signing, Paul is confident that there will be no surprises in the contract, as it will be exactly the same as his payment receipt. At this point, the dealer may rush Paul to give a one-time feedback. However, this will no longer be the case, as the dealer will be evaluated continuously, which will be mentioned later. Last but not the least, Paul's dreamlet finally arrives. He knows that she is the one, as he tracked her through all her ups and downs. He can finally share his thrill with Porsche instead of being filled with disappointment. Porsche can solve all the problems faced by Paul, hence providing impeccable service to even the most demanding client. Transparency, efficiency, and accuracy are only the fundamentals of Porsche's customer-centric model. With every demanding customers, creating a rapid feedback loop is a golden key to success. Paul will be encouraged to provide feedback, and also throughout his purchase journey, by push notifications on the app or phone call if it's approved by him. However, we understand that Paul is a busy businessman. Therefore, we will provide a flag system for him to report any irregularities on the platform. With this, rapid feedback can be gathered immediately to improve his customer journey. Feedback will be collected in every stage instead of just 2 stages. In the past, the first evaluation is collected by the dealer when the contract is signed. Yet since that's not the end of Paul's purchase journey, it can't accurately evaluate Paul's satisfaction. The second evaluation was collected by Porsche months after arrival, but there's nothing much that can be done already. With that in mind, we are open to any feedback collected at any stage of the purchase journey. If there are any major incidents, it will be made transparent to the car dealer team leader and the manager level through Porsche. The car dealer team leader will immediately exert pressure on David and reach out to Paul personally. If the flag is still up after some time, Porsche's customer relations will also exert pressure on David. By ensuring the transparency of this, we can ensure that the problem can be immediately dealt with and allow the car dealers to learn from their mistake rapidly. Now I'll pass the time to James.
Thanks, Emily. We do not stop here. As valuable data has been collected, we must take one step further in improving the experience of our customers. By analyzing the data, customers' needs can be well observed and understood, which in turn allows us to identify what our dealers should know in response to the demand of our customers. And with that in mind, Porsche definitely has to provide necessary support to our dealers to tackle the potential gap in their knowledge and skill sets. And provided in the case of David and Paul, we know that our dealers in Hong Kong, the Japson Group, may be merely providing the minimum deliverables in providing customer experience. And some of our dealers do not have updated products and supply chain information and make false representations to customers, while some of them fail to think from customer perspective when it comes to crisis management. Since customers' enthusiasm is our core of business, we have to provide alignment, training, and incentivization to the only customer-facing party, which is our dealers. Although it is the discretion of dealers to decide on how they should conduct the sale and provide and perform customer relationship management, we have to align and communicate with them our expectations, given customers perceive them as part of Porsche. Undoubtedly, it is our current practice to regularly review the dealership execution and performance, and communication of our expectations is surely essential. Yet, it is also important to allow and encourage dealers to conduct reverse communication by reflecting their actual customer service experience to the management executives of Porsche, assisting both parties to align the expectations and deliverables. As for certain specific or significant customer service issues, we have to be more proactive in initiating conversations with the dealer company and provide specific advice and CTA. Besides, apart from performance alignment, we have to ensure our dealers have the capability to fulfill the aligned expectations. Therefore, training and education are certainly needed. We will require our dealers to fulfill a certain proportion of assigned training regularly by visiting the online academy and knowledge hub to gain deeper insights of Porsche for the betterment of their customer handling. And most importantly, apart from essential product knowledge and corporate ideologies, dealers need to have a channel to get timely updates on the product offering of Porsche and even the supply chain in order to avoid confusion of timeline and availability of product features. And apart from that, protocols and minimums will also be provided for them to follow so as to conduct good customer crisis management. For example, our dealer, David, after completing the crisis management online training, he would understand the minimum and protocol of customer compensation and recovery and will not make the same mistake again he has made to Paul. When he is facing the problem of serious or consecutive product deviation and customer complaints, he will immediately report to senior management and even Porsche for consultation. Moreover, he will update the customer of the continuing progress instead of being passive. Such unprofessionalism is expected to be rectified by relevant training. And in ensuring our strategies to work, we have to make this clear to the dealer. And renegotiation of the dealership engagement is certainly needed to modify the minimum obligations required from the dealer. For example, we may require them to fulfill a certain percentage of training and attain a certain score of customer service as minimum obligation for the continuation of partnership, increase in monetary bonus, or any other financial and engagement incentives. So now, moving on to steps of our successful launch of Porsche. For the first step, Porsche, starting in 2023, will conduct a year-long R&D for digital integration of the platform, which will be discussed with the dealer afterwards to ensure mutual understanding. Mass introduction will be conducted together with promotion to the customers in 2025. As for the second stage, Porsche Plus, preliminary online hub construction and material preparation will commence in 2023, followed by negotiation with the dealer and onboarding. An important consideration would be the interdependent nature of the two stages. We need to have feedback received in stage 1 so as to provide suitable education in stage 2. And for risks, we have identified 3. Firstly, there may be an overestimation of dealers' acceptance towards the new customer service platform Porsche. One possible way to mitigate this would be to emphasize the benefit of change, which is allowing the customers to access more information on their own in reducing dealers' workload in doing communication and repeatedly providing the same information. Secondly, there may be an overestimation of customers' willingness to use Porsche. A method to attract customers to adopt the platform would be to provide monetary incentives such as discounts in purchase to customers for their own use or referral. And thirdly, there may be an overestimation of dealers' willingness in participating in the alignment and training. Hence, apart from the additional monetary incentive mechanism and subject to the region and actual demand, we may actually increase inventory allocation to the dealer if it performs in a cooperative manner compared with other dealers in order to boost the final sales and satisfy customer demand. So now I'll pass the time to Artman to talk about the impacts of our strategies.
Thanks, James. We foresee that our strategy will bring forth major impacts to our customer user experience, Porsche's financial performance, and its brand image. First of all, the most direct impact and the aim of our strategy is a significant improvement in customer satisfaction, with great leaps in multiple KPIs. Firstly, by increasing the number of touch points between Porsche and the end customers from 1 to more than 5, it will be easier for Porsche to instill its customer-centric ideology in our customers. Secondly, customer satisfaction as measured by Net Promoter Score is also estimated to increase by 30%. This is mainly due to the reduced human errors and improved service recovery. With the ideology more aligned to Porsche, our dealers can also provide better customer experience. Finally, we perceive that the communication errors would decrease by 60%, since Porsche effectively improves customer feedback loop and transparency. While our strategies are not directly aimed at improving financial performance, we believe that an increase in sales would be resulted from our improved customer experience. Firstly, we perceive that the number of cars sold would increase from 7% to 30% from 2023 to 2025. Secondly, while we may incur new costs such as R&D and maintenance costs of the online portal, paying bonuses to elderly and to dealers and training costs, we believe that the increase in costs would be accompanied by an even higher increase in revenue, with the growth rate in revenue rising from 5% to 20%. In terms of brand perception, we hope to increase the rating of Porsche in both sales satisfaction and dealer satisfaction score, which is essential in ensuring the stability of our new dealership model. Notably, we hope to raise China's sales satisfaction index from 735 to 769, while Chinese dealers would also be more satisfied with Porsche with a raised ranking from 10th place to top 5. Now you have seen our impact. We need to act fast. In order to maximize the impacts of our strategy in optimizing our customer journey, we have to bring forth our strategies decisively and in a timely manner. Together, Porsche can be at the forefront of providing top-notch customer journeys and create customer satisfaction. Porsche will be able to win the hearts and hearts of customers. Thank you for your time, and we will be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you for your presentation, Hong Kong, your team. It is time for the Q&A session. Judges, you can start ask your question, and the 15 minutes countdown start now. Let's hear the first question from the judges.
So good. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Yeah, thanks for your 20 minutes, but also all the hours that you put into this presentation. It was a good one, and I think we speak more about the presentation itself over the feedback session. No? But look, I just wanted to start with one single point, yeah, which is a key point of all what you just shared with us. No, so Porsche is, perhaps the strongest brand, ever, correct? With very successful business overseas, and the number one brand in China, or China being the first market for them, man. And where very recently they hired new management to pay attention in customer services, in customer centricity, right? So very solid brand, very solid product, very successful, 20 years in China, growing the business, positive feedback from all. And then at some point of your presentation, if you flip back towards the second or third slide, you put there an assumption. And the assumption was, we assume that this is not a unique case. We are assuming that this is a systemic problem. And from that assumption, you created this 60 slide type of strategy, yeah, which will be very, very expensive to implement. You articulated well, yeah. But I wanted you to, because this is key for the successful of your strategy, why you make this comment into the box here, and based on this, derived the whole implementation plan that you explained, over the course of your presentation.
Thank you for your question. We believe that we made the assumption that this is not an individual case, but a systematic problem, because we think that the origin of the errors are mainly from the lack of proper human interaction and the miscommunication between the dealer and Porsche. So at the first stage, when Paul was trying to check for the delivery time and also make new specifications, David failed to log into some new specifications made by Paul into the system. And we believe that these human errors would be made in a normal circumstances, even if another customer was in this certain case. And also for the later part of the process, when David put forward unsatisfactory compensation for Paul when his Porsche model went wrong, this also reflects an overall lack of training in terms of how to manage our customers' expectation, especially when their product does not meet their initial demands. So all of these reflects a problem where David does not actually understand our customers' needs. So if it was another customer doing the same thing in the same circumstances, we believe that David could possibly make the same mistakes as well. So our portal would make the whole thing more transparent. And also some other parties could also intervene in the process other than only letting David make all the decisions, which would improve the whole...
Artiman, can I just stop you? Can I just stop you?
Yes.
And ask you, do you think that Porsche would be as successful, in China, everywhere, growing business, beating all the other markets, if this was a systematic problem?
We understood that if this was a systematic problem, then definitely Porsche's brand may be hindered, then it wouldn't be such a successful global brand. But at the same time, we believe that the problem does not necessarily come from Porsche, the brand itself. As we have mentioned in our presentation, we believe that Porsche adopts a really good customer-centric model that has tailor-made cars. But on the other hand, this problem is a reflection of the dealership model that is currently implemented that does not necessarily embody the customer-centric value that Porsche holds. So in order to improve this whole process, we believe that we should start from the dealership problem so that we could make Porsche's whole system better.
So maybe just following on from that, Bonita, can I ask you to maybe comment? So in the case study, it clearly states that Porsche is ranked third in the China SSI study, which includes 7 dimensions: the visit, reception, showroom visit, test drive, deal, and delivery experience. So there's a lot of metrics here that says this is not a systemic issue, it's a one-off. So why are you proposing such a radical set of solutions instead of just saying either retrain Paul or fire Paul? Why do we think we need to do this huge big project or initiative instead of just picking this isolated incident?
Thank you, sir, for your question. And
sorry, that was directed to Bonita.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem.
Allow me to add on for that.
No, sorry, I asked Bonita to comment, not so you can add to Bonita, but I want her to speak first, please.
Yes, I understand. Thank you.
Right. Thank you for your question. We believe that as the judges you have all mentioned that Porsche is actually doing very well in a lot of the cities and a lot of its markets. We believe that it is very important for Porsche to change it, to improve its to improve its service provided, its relationship with its dealership model, in order to provide a more customer-centric solution and to cater more the needs of customers. So we understand that we are now looking at one case. However, we believe that this issue might still occur in in similar situations, and that a lot of the customers might also face similar problems. And we believe that we do not want any one case of our customers to harm the entire reputation of our brand. And so we try to minimize any type of dissatisfaction or frustration in purchasing our Porsche car, as we believe that a lot of times these customers have a lot of influence on other customers, and we do not hope that even one case would harm our brand image. So therefore, we believe that this platform could prevent and minimize all these types of potential problematic customer experience. And we hope that through the launch of the Porsche Tool, we hope that these types of errors and these types of dissatisfaction could be minimized.
Thank you.
Maybe just to add on slightly from Bonita's answer, I believe that even though this might not be a systematic problem, and Porsche is in fact doing really good, as all of the judges have kindly mentioned, we still believe that going towards a more online approach and a more disintermediation approach is the way to go, because we are moving into the digital age. As we have seen in one of the case studies done by McKinsey, we believe that the younger customers are moving towards a more online customer journey. So we believe that even though the current interaction may be good, we still think that providing a better online channel option will still be beneficial for Porsche in the long run, so that customers could also gain a different type of customer journey if they so desire.
Yeah, adding on to Bonita's answer, I also want to emphasize that our system is basically like a crisis management system. Like, we think that every single customer's experience is very, very crucial to Porsche. We don't want to have even one customer being left behind. So in order to ensure that every single customer's experience can be maximized and everyone can be satisfied, we want to implement this model in order to prevent any of these problems that will be occurred in the future.
Any additional question from the judges?
So guys,
I just wanted to ask a question in relation to So the system you are proposing to implement, at the end you proposed some kind of financial attached to the result it could achieve. What is the basis on those numbers? How did you come up with the final numbers? Was it like yes, sorry.
Thank you for your question. So allow me to elaborate more on the impacts on the financials. On the financials, first of all, it should be the next page, admin. Thank you. Yes, thank you so much. So for the explanation between the financials, so we believe that an improved performance of the dealer of the Jefferson Group and our dealers in other region in the Greater China region will lead to an improvement. It will lead to an increase in the number of customers, and which in turn is going to lead to an increase in the number of cars sold. And we understand that during the pandemic in COVID-19, we have already achieved a 3% growth in the global sales of automobile. And we believe that an increase here is going to lead us to more increase, which is going to be ranging from 7% in 1 year and 30% in 3 years. And also because of the number of increase in cars sold, and we believe that it will lead to a growth rate in revenue. And you may see that it's also a progressive rate, but the growth rate isn't as much as number of cars sold. The main reason is that when there are more number of cars sold, we believe that we should encourage our dealers to perform even better in customer service, so that we are considering whether we should provide a discount in the inventory cost in selling those cars to our dealers, so that they can earn a higher profit margin, and then they will perform a better customer service. So this is basically our logic in the number, mainly about the car sold and mainly about the revenue growth rate. Hope you find this information useful.
Sure, it's just the relationship between that system and the potential growth. Because if we look at the figures we have at the moment, there is an ongoing growth anyway. And if we factor in COVID and everything, the growth is happening. So my point being just like, and maybe this is something I would have wanted to see, is the cost of implementing the system versus the opportunity here. So did you look into this, or did you assume that by implementing the system, it will automatically, improve your sales?
Thank you for your question. This is actually an assumption made by our team, because it is hard to estimate what the actual financial impact that an online customer journey system would directly bring to our sales. But we also noticed that Porsche has been facing a growth in recent years anyways. So we just believe that given that Porsche is already experiencing a growth, even with the COVID pandemic, when we improve the online experience, which is what customers hope for, especially in a global pandemic due to its convenience of online. So it will further boost our number of cars sold, since a lot of customers that might not be convenient to go to showrooms could now purchase online. So these are some of the basis of our assumptions. But of course, that this is a very rough assumption, because we cannot directly estimate the financial impact of an online customer journey system. I hope this answers your question. Thank you.
Thank you.
So guys, we have maybe 1 minute to go, right? And you are in front of the board, correct? And I wanted you to take a decision. Do you wanted to go ahead with your strategy based on one single case? You are assuming and you are proposing a massive investment for this organization, or you wanted to revisit your strategy? You have 30 seconds.
Thank you for your question. We believe that we should still go ahead with the strategy. Of course, we do understand all of the concerns that you have brought forward, and we do think that there are very valid criticisms of our strategy. However, we believe that going towards a more omni-channel and online sales strategy is what the major electric cars companies are doing, and this is an eventual must for a major brand such as Porsche. For example, we could see that Tesla and also some of the other major electric cars company are all moving towards online automation. So even though this might be in fact a one-off case, we still believe that moving towards a online approach would be a better one for the long term in terms of Porsche's long-term customer success. I hope this answers your question.
Can I just say something about what you just said? Tesla is not even in that China SSI study. So it may well be that Tesla does not satisfy their customer as much as those brands. I don't know, obviously, but I think based on the data you have here, top is Lincoln, right?
Actually, I'm referring to more like a global trend, but in terms of China, I do believe that some of the famous China car dealers are still going towards an online automation one as well. But for Tesla, I understand that they might not be as good as Porsche in China, but still the overall trend is still going towards a more online customer journey. I hope this answers your question.
Okay, thank you for your question and answer. So now the judges will stay in the room to deliberate, and dear team, we will place you in the rating room and bring you back in for the feedback session in a few minutes. So everyone else, please kindly leave the room, and we will see you later for the results announcement. Thank you.